Mangwanani malelepo vukenjani xexwa vanave Africa. Welcome to Africa. Good morning. This is your portal into Africa's potent stories. We start the week with the G20 declaration adopted in Johannesburg. This is despite the U.S. boycott, followed by President Ramaphosa's assertion of strengthened multilateralism on African soil. We move to Guinea-Bissau, where voters head to the polls in a tense and closely watched election before examining escalating rhetoric between Ethiopia and Eritrea that has raised fresh security concerns. We close our top stories with Namibia's preparations for its first upcoming regional and local elections. Make sure you watch us on DSTV 285, GOTV 25, ntvafrika.my.na, and NTV Afrika on YouTube. Today, we are celebrating because yesterday, Africa Good Morning turned 5. We'd like to thank all of you viewers who have supported this show, as well as the presenters we've had over the years: Tiri Masawi, Naledi, Kunene, Aina Raiza Kweyo, Diana Master, Glenora Shipura, and all the multimedia operators that have made this show so special. We look forward to many more years with you. Let's get into our top stories on Africa Good Morning. The group of 20 leaders adopted a declaration in Johannesburg addressing the climate crisis and other global challenges without U.S. input, deepening tensions between South Africa and the Trump administration. Now, the White House accused South Africa of weaponizing its G20 presidency, while President Cyril Ramaphosa's spokesperson insisted the declaration could not be renegotiated after a year of work. The United States boycotted the summit over allegations of persecution of white South Africans, claims widely discredited. Argentina withdrew from final negotiations at the last moment, though its foreign minister said the country remained committed to the G20. Despite dispute, Ramaphosa said there was overwhelming consensus. The declaration's reference to climate change, renewable energy targets, and debt burdens for poor countries drew U.S. objections. The U.S. criticized South Africa for departing from consensus traditions, while South Africa rejected a U.S. offer to send a charge d'affaires for the G20 handover. China called for unity, the EU warned against weaponizing dependencies, and South Africa said a diplomat of equal rank would conduct the presidential transition. Staying with the G20. President Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa said the G20 leaders' declaration from the Johannesburg summit reflected a renewed commitment to multilateral cooperation, even as the U.S. states boycotted. At the closing ceremony, he said the declaration showed shared goals outweigh differences. Despite U.S. objections to language on climate adaptation, renewable energy, and excessive debt burdens faced by developing nations, Donald Trump boycotted the summit over debunked allegations against South Africa's government and rejected its agenda of solidarity, clean energy transitions, and helping poorer nations manage worsening weather disasters. Ramaphosa secured consensus from attending leaders for the first G20 summit on African soil, even as tensions over Russia's war in Ukraine and fraught COP30 climate talks framed the backdrop. The U.S. takes over the rotating G20 presidency next, but South Africa rejected Washington's proposal to send an embassy official for the handover, calling it a breach of protocol. The White House accused Ramaphosa of refusing to ensure a smooth transition, but South Africa maintained its stance. Guinea-Bissau opened polls for presidential and legislative elections, with President Umaro Sissoco Embalo seeking to become the country's first leader in 3 decades to win a second consecutive term. He faces 11 challenges led by political newcomer Fernando Dias, backed by the party that fought for independence from Portugal but was barred from fielding candidates after filing papers late. Analysts expect a close race with a runoff if no candidate reaches 50%. Embalo voted in Gabu wearing his red keffiyeh, urging citizens to vote massively for stability, while critics say his mandate expired in February. The country, which saw at least 9 coups from 1974 to 2020, remains a key transit point for cocaine from South America to Europe. Diaz accused Embalo of failing to curb the drug trade and undermining institutions. Embalo denied involvement in trafficking, though a report said the trade may be more profitable than ever. Voters expressed contrasting views amid a tense and polarized climate. Nearly half of the population is registered, and polls closed at 5 p.m. GMT yesterday, with results expected within 48 hours. A sharp escalation in hostile rhetoric between Ethiopia and Eritrea has raised fears of renewed conflict between the neighbors. Ethiopia has openly declared its desire for Red Sea access through Eritrea, with Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed calling the loss of access an existential mistake to be corrected. Senior Ethiopian officials, including the army chief and ambassador to Kenya, have asserted ownership of Eritrea's southern port of Assab and hinted at reclaiming it by force. Eritrea dismissed Ethiopia's push as dangerous irredentism, warning that attempts to legitimize aggression would have serious consequences and describing the issue as a red line. The Eritrean army cautioned Ethiopia's leaders against plunging the country into an abyss. While no major troop involvements have been reported, Ethiopia has showcased thousands of new cadets, promotions of senior officers, and newly acquired weapons. Eritrea, with mandatory national service, has restricted troop movement, according to pro-opposition reports. Ethiopian state media has amplified narratives about an unjust loss of ports and highlighted ways to regain them, reinforcing a hardened public stance. In the last of our top stories, Namibia heads toward its regional council and local authority elections on 26 November, a day declared a public holiday by President Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah to boost voter participation. This 5-yearly process will determine representatives across regional councils in 121 constituencies and 57 local authority councils. The Electoral Commission of Namibia has completed preparations. This is despite earlier ballot issues, and optimism remains high. The voter roll lists over 1,400,000 registered voters, an increase to just over 1.3 million in 2020. This year's 456 candidates mark a 9% decline to 503 from 2020, with 20 of 25 political parties taking part. SWAPO is contesting 121 constituencies, while parties such as PDM, LPM, and APP field region-specific candidates. Independent candidates number 68, down from 92 previously. Competition is tightening in key urban centers. These current numbers are actually reflective of last year's polling, with this year having much more independent candidates than expected. Now, youth voters aged between 18 and 34 make up 42% of the electorate. We will be covering the election as well as the pre-election. Pre-election will be after Sunset News tomorrow, just after 7:30 Sunset News. And then throughout the 26th and the 27th, we'll be giving you election updates from studio with Network Media Hub and NTV. So do make sure you stay informed with us.
Democracy thrives through participation, and we all want a thriving democracy, don't we? Let's all contribute to a thriving democracy by being active participants and voting in the upcoming regional council and local authority elections on 26 November 2025. Let's play our part. Get involved. Put your voice in the box.
It's time for us to talk to our correspondent in Zambia, Mike Sichula, as he delivers the Zambia report. Good morning, Mike. Mudiwanji.
Good morning to our dear viewers.
Africa, good morning indeed. Now, China, Zambia and Tanzania have signed a landmark $1.4 billion deal to revive the historic Tanzania-Zambia Railway Authority line.
Yes, the agreement was signed in Lusaka last week when visiting Chinese Premier was in Zambia, and also Vice President of Tanzania were in Zambia. So this milestone agreement was signed, and the railway line, which is stretching over 1,800 kilometers, was built by the Chinese government in the 1970s. To support copper and fuel exports. But because of the time period that when it was established, the three governments, that is Zambia, Tanzania, and the People's Republic of China, have this deal so that it can upgrade the existing infrastructure. So the upgrades will include new tracks, tunnel, and bridges and other related upgrades. So the deal is likely to increase and boost freight capacity from the current 100,000 tons to 2.4 million tons annually. And President Hakainde Hichilema, during the signing ceremony, said that the project is vital for international trade. That is Zambia into Tanzania and through to the Western and Asian countries. So it is something that a number of business experts have commended the current administration for ensuring that the upgrade of the Tazara line is in order to boost Zambia's international trade with countries in the Asian community.
All right, Mike, moving on to your next story. Police authorities in Kabwe have arrested at least 7 people who harassed a former government minister and an opposition leader.
Yes, the quite a sad incident happened last week when former Justice Minister Given Lubinda went to Kabwe, which is in central Zambia, and during that time, he meeting officials of the former Patriotic Front when he was ambushed. A group of youths from the United Party for UPND, and according to the youths, they effected an arrest, a citizen's arrest, former Justice Minister, because they believe, that is him there in the pictures, they believe that he did not have a permit to hold such a gathering at a private, and because of that, they went and they hounded him out of the lodge and dragged him, as you can see in that picture. He was dragged out of the lodge where he was having a meeting with officials of the opposition PF, and he was only rescued by state police, and who made sure that he was not victimized and beaten carelessly. So according to Zambia Police Public Relations Officer in the picture there, Mr. Godfrey Chiabi, he said police managed to arrest 7 of those youths who were behind the of Misinda. But the arrest only came a day after. The person in the picture is a UPND official who actually disclosed that they did that because Mr. Rulinda did not have a permit to hold him in central Zambia. But according to the rules of Zambia, it is not the duty of citizens to effect a citizen's arrest if someone does not have a permit. It is the job of the Zambia police to ensure that people conduct themselves orderly whenever holding processions or meetings.
All right, Mike, moving on. Zambia's largest hospital, UTH, has conducted 11 kidney transplants this year under the Skills Transfer Program. Yeah,
so this forms part of the hospital's 2025 target to at least 15 kidney transplants. So with the remainder, so having done that number, the remainder of the kidney transplants in December. So the initiative is being done with the support from the visiting surgeons from the American College of Surgeons and the Ministry of Health coordinator overseeing the project, Agri Mwemba, said the plan is designed to equip Zambian surgeons with the skills to perform kidney transplant. As you may be aware, Zambia has stepped up efforts to promote health tourism, and one of those is the development of such initiatives where Zambians who have required skills to perform complex medical operations, and development that has been done at the University Teaching Hospital, which is the biggest referral hospital, is something that has attracted players for members of the community who see it that they will no longer be going outside the country to seek medical procedures which can be done by Zambia.
All right, Mike, it seems your screen is frozen there, but I think your sound might be fine. Let's try continuing to the entertainment news. Beauty pageant promoter Alice Musukwa has lashed out at Minister of Tourism Rodney Sikumba, accusing him of doing little to promote the modeling industry in the country. It doesn't seem like we have Mike Sichula with us, but I can get into that story for him. See, according to Alice Musukwa, she posted on her socials that beauty pageants help to market the country. She wrote, and I quote, "A pageant goes beyond bikinis and beauty. It serves as a platform to showcase a country to more than 120 nations, including those unaware of what a small landlocked country in Southern Africa can offer apart from the usual attractions like the Big Five and Victoria Falls. Pageantry is one of the most effective ways to market a country and educate others about its resources and culture through national costumes, drawing international investments." End of quote. That has been the Zambia report from Mike Sichula. We're going to take a quick break before we return with economic news.
Life is unpredictable and one needs to be protected against any eventuality. Get Santam legal access from as little as 50 Namibian dollars a month for when you find yourself in need of legal representation due to civil cases, criminal prosecution, and family matters such as divorce, child maintenance, and custody. It also covers labor disputes, disciplinary hearings, and unfair dismissal or retrenchment. With Santam Legal Access, you'll receive free legal advice on almost every legal aspect, whether the specific matter is covered by your policy or not. For true peace of mind and legal protection when you need it most, call us on 061 292 8000. Santam. This is freedom.
Let's get into economic news. The United Arab Emirates has announced a $1 billion plan to expand artificial intelligence infrastructure and AI-enabled services throughout Africa, aiming to support national development goals across the continent. Minister of State Saeed bin Mubarak Al-Hajeri launched the AI for Development initiative at the G20 summit in Johannesburg, outlining ambitions to integrate AI into sectors including education, healthcare, and climate adaptation. He said AI represents a cornerstone of humanity's future, with the UAE accelerating innovation to enhance productivity and inclusive growth.
ويسرني اليوم أن أعلن عن إطلاق مبادرة دولة الإمارات الذكاء الاصطناعي من أجل التنمية، التي تخصص $1 مليار أمريكي لتمويل مشاريع الذكاء الاصطناعي في الدول الأفريقية. بهدف دعم التنمية الاقتصادية والاجتماعية من خلال تعزيز منظومة البنية التحتية الرقمية والارتقاء بالخدمات الحكومية لرفع الإنتاجية وتحسين جودة الحياة.
Walmart has officially entered the African retail landscape by opening its first store in South Africa, expanding beyond its long-standing operations through local subsidiary Massmart. The new Roadport outlet marks the retailer's direct introduction to a market dominated by regional competitors. Customers queued for hours to experience Walmart's everyday low prices, quote-unquote, and access international products less common locally. The launch included a 60-minute online delivery service, placing Walmart in competition with Checkers 6060 operated by ShopRite. The company emphasized convenience and affordability in an evolving retail environment. While Walmart already owns Macro, Game, and Builders Warehouse through Massmart, this move reflects its intent to grow its global footprint and tap into South Africa's expanding consumer base. Let's have a look at the economic indicators. In sport news, Arsenal beat rivals Tottenham Hotspur 4-1 with a hat-trick from Eberechi Eze as they go 6 points atop the table. But in Africa, South Africa secured a 24-13 win over Ireland in Dublin, extending an unbeaten November run while facing an opponent reduced to 12 players at one stage due to a 20-minute red card and 3 first-half yellow cards. The world champions, Springboks, previously struggling in Dublin with losses in 4 of 5 past meetings, struck early through a Damian Willemse try followed by a Kobus Reinach score after James Ryan's red card. Ireland suffered further setbacks as Sam Prendergast, Jack Crowley and Andrew Porter were all shown yellow cards within 9 minutes. Though Dan Sheehan narrowed the gap, a penalty try left South Africa 19-7 ahead at halftime. Sasha Fanbeck Mgomezulu added a second-half try, securing a 4th straight tour win with Wales still to come. Ireland's mixed November continued with a second defeat, despite late pressure once restored to 15 players. South Africa's forward power and Ireland's sequence of infringements defined a match marked by attrition, momentum swings, and determined defending from the hosts who ultimately ran out of time. It's time for us to have a look at the highlights from this program. Thank you for staying with Africa. Good morning. G20 declaration adopted despite U.S. boycott. Ramaphosa hails renewed multilateral commitment at G20. Guinea-Bissau votes in tight races and Mbalo seeks second term. Ethiopia-Eritrea rhetoric sparks fears of new conflict. Namibia prepares for crucial regional and local elections. UAE unveils $1 billion AI investment drive across Africa. Those have been our stories, and of course, Springboks making it happen in Dublin. Thank you for staying with us on ntvafrika.my.na, 1up2.com, DSTV 285, GOTV 25, and NTV Afrika on YouTube. That's Africa with a K. We return tomorrow as Talent Gore delivers the Zimbabwe report, and as usual, we bring you the pertinent headlines stemming from Africa, keeping in mind, as of tomorrow, it's all about Namibia's local and regional authority elections, and we'll be keeping you up to date on the beat to make sure you get the information as you need it. My name is Ashwin Bedi. This has been Africa Good Morning. Suraj Kanaka.